be here. Robert was saying this is my 28th speech for the group. First of all, congratulations to all the newly inducted members. Tonight you become part of a worldwide organization known for its leadership, scholarship, and service in schools and cities throughout the world. You will work shoulder to shoulder with your classmates to make this a better school and our city a warmer, more caring community. As always, when called upon before this august assembly, I have a story to tell. And this year it's about how we can deal with discomforts, losses, and even tragedies such as the one we saw at the school in Connecticut a few weeks ago. Many years ago in World War II, there was a young naval lieutenant whose torpedo boat was rammed by an enemy destroyer. And they threw him and his crew into the cold, dark ocean in the middle of the night. Some of his men were killed, others were seriously injured. Swimming in enemy-infested waters, dragging one wounded sailor by his belt through the water, the lieutenant finally swam to a small island 3 days later, where they were ultimately rescued. When he returned to the United States, he had to undergo a painful operation on his back. Lying in traction, suffering also from an inflammatory digestive tract and diarrhea, and the terrible grief of having seen his friends die, this young lieutenant had every reason in the world to moan and cry and bewail his fate. He had a perfect right to kick back and watch TV and veg out for the rest of his life. No one would blame him. But he didn't. He called a friend and got him to go to the library for him. And he told his friend to gather together biographies and history texts. And then the young man began researching and then composing a book. It was a story of people who risked their careers to do the right thing when it was painful and costly. The book was called Profiles in Courage. And it became a bestseller and later won the Pulitzer Prize. The young author was the grandson of an Irish immigrant to America and a Catholic. But it was neither his Irish heritage nor his religion which gave him the discipline and the strength to write that book. Through the back pain, through the stomach pain, through the feelings of grief. It was a simple philosophy propounded by a Roman named Marcus Aurelius almost 2,000 years ago. The philosophy is called Stoicism. And the basis of Stoicism is this, that hardships, sickness, pain, loss, even the death of loved ones will be a part of our lives. There's no escaping that. Just as opportunities, success, love, and honor will be a part of our lives. We must discipline ourselves to accept them both as they come and be tranquil. We must learn how to be emotionally mature just as we learn to be intellectually astute. We must find ways to take the focus off of ourselves and look to how we can help others. If we do that, we'll find that the pain is less and we are quickly restored to balance. How absurd, Marcus Aurelius said, and how childish to complain about the rain or the cold weather or the force of the hurricane. These are things beyond our power to change. What we can change, however, is our judgment of these events and see them as natural and to be expected as part of life. How absurd and childish to complain when one gets a poor grade or is slighted by a friend and then spend the rest of the day complaining and making the rest of the people around us miserable with our depression. We cannot change how we feel, Marcus Aurelius says, but we can change how we express those feelings and how we influence those around us. I sometimes hear discussions in education about teaching for the 21st century, as if that's something unique or different from quality teaching at any time or any place. One of my great friends on campus, Leo Diaz, who's in the back, once said in annoyance when one of these conversations was going on, "Well, as for me, I'm a 6th century teacher." Leo, like Aristotle, like Marcus Aurelius, is interested in helping his students discover the interconnectedness of things, of making the students aware that technology existed long before the internet, and that the quality of teaching, which made Alexander, Einstein, Madame Curie, Gandhi, Octavio Paz, such great people, was not 21st century teaching, was not 21st century thinking. Some narrow, isolated from history method, only 13 years in existence. It was something bigger than that. It was something better than that. Anyway, let's get back to the man with the bad back and terrible sadness over the loss of his friends. The man who refused to lie around in the hospital bed and vegetate and watch TV. The man who wrote the book and won the Pulitzer Prize. Well, that wasn't quite the end of his career. He went on to become President of the United States. His name was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Stoicism is not easy. Being emotionally mature is something one has to work at. Some people never achieve it, no matter how smart they are. William James, the founder of psychiatry at Harvard, once said that in order to be ready when difficult times come, we should practice doing one unpleasant thing every day. Speaking in a kind way to someone we don't like. Inviting someone who is alienated from our group to come and sit with us at lunch. Picking up the trash that someone else left behind. Visiting a sick or elderly person. Helping someone who is slower than we are figure out a math problem. Apologizing to someone when we were unpleasant or careless or wrong. This is one of the ways in which you'll know that you've truly arrived as members of the National Honor Society, when you're someone who's not only smart and organized and ambitious, but also kind and caring, and making others around you feel that they are just as important as you are. I know you're on the path to this kind of maturity. I know your work in this society can help you be the kind of person who is in the tradition of John Kennedy and Marcus Aurelius. Longfellow once wrote, "Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing, leave behind us footprints in the sand of time. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing all life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing, shall take heart again." My hope is that your footprints in the sand of time will be followed by those who are in most need of your caring, your leadership, and your love. Once again, my warmest congratulations to you all, to your parents, and to your teachers. Un abrazo muy, muy fuerte. Gracias.
Thank you, Dr. Hogan, for your inspiring words. Now, the officers of the National Honor Society will proceed to review the qualities of the National Honor Society for us.